Welcome to Wisdom Flicks. Microsoft Azure explained. Understand the Azure cloud platform. Let's move on. History of cloud computing. Before emerging the cloud computing, there was client server computing, which is basically a centralized storage in which all the software applications, all the data, and all the controls are resided on the server side. Then, after distributed computing came into the picture, where all the computers are networked together and share the resources when needed. Cloud computing is believed to have been invented by J.C.R. Licklider in the 1960s with his work on ARPANET to connect people and data from anywhere at any time. He was an American psychologist and computer scientist. At around in 1961, John McCarthy suggested in a speech at MIT that computing can be sold like a utility just like water or electricity. It was a brilliant idea, but of course, time has passed and technology caught that idea, and few years later, in 1999, Salesforce.com started delivering of applications to users using a simple website. In 2002, Amazon started Amazon Web Services, providing services like storage, computation, and even human intelligence. In 2009, Google Apps also started to provide cloud computing enterprise applications. In 2010, Microsoft launched Windows Azure, that is Microsoft Azure Now, and companies like Oracle, HP have all joined the game. This proves that today cloud computing has become the mainstream. Real cloud versus cloud computing. Have you ever wondered how cloud computing got its name? Despite popular opinion, cloud computing has nothing to do with the clouds in the sky. Instead, information is transferred to and from data centers, which are shaped nothing like clouds. Yet there are similarities between the two clouds. We will compare them side by side to help you better understand cloud computing. Cloud storage. A cloud from nature stores water. Cloud computing stores data. The same way that clouds are filled with rainwater, cloud computing stores information like files, music, videos, applications, and more. Accessing the cloud. Nature's clouds require the weather to be just right before releasing their bounty upon the earth. The data stored by cloud computing can be accessed from anywhere at any time. Cloud burst. A weather cloud will burst forth rainwater. Cloud computing will burst when traffic spikes. How cloud computing works? Cloud computing is an application based software infrastructure that stores data on remote servers, which can be accessed through the internet. To understand how cloud computing works, it can be divided into front end and back end. The front end enables a user to access data stored in the cloud using an internet browser or a cloud computing software. However, the primary component of cloud computing responsible for securely storing data and information is the backend. It comprises servers, computers, databases, and central servers. The central server facilitates operations by following a set of rules called protocols. It uses a software middleware to ensure seamless connectivity between devices, computers linked via cloud computing. Cloud computing service providers usually maintain multiple copies of data to mitigate instances of security threats, data loss, data breach, etc. You probably use different cloud based applications every day. You are benefiting from cloud solutions every time you send a file to your colleague or friend via the web, use a mobile app, download an image, bing a Netflix show, or play an online video game. All these services are stored in the cloud and exist in some digital space. Cloud computing. Cloud computing is renting resources like storage space or CPU cycles on another company's computers. You only pay for what you use. The company providing these services is referred to as cloud provider. The cloud provider is responsible for the physical hardware required to execute your work and for keeping it up to date. The computing services offered tend to vary by cloud provider. However, typically they include compute power such as Linux servers or web applications used for computation and processing tasks, storage such as files and databases, networking such as secure connections between the cloud provider and your company, analytics such as visualizing telemetry and performance data. Here are the major cloud providers: Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud, and Salesforce. Delivery models of cloud computing. Infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service is the most flexible category of cloud services. It aims to give you the most control over the provided hardware that runs your application, like IT infrastructure servers, virtual machines, storage, and operating systems. Instead of buying hardware with infrastructure as a service, you rent it. It is commonly used in the following scenarios: migrating workloads, test and development, storage, backup, and recovery. Platform as a service. Platform as a service provides an environment for building, testing, and deploying software applications. The goal of platform as a service is to help you create an application quickly without managing the underlying infrastructure. It is commonly used in the following scenarios: development framework, analytics, or business intelligence. Software as a service. Software as a service is software that is centrally hosted and managed for the end customer. It is usually based on an architecture where one version of the application is used for all customers and licensed through a monthly or annual subscription. Microsoft 365, Skype, and Dynamics CRM Online are perfect examples of software as a service model. Cloud deployment models. Public cloud. This is the most common deployment model. In this case, you have no local hardware to manage or keep up to date. Everything runs on your cloud provider's hardware. In some cases, you can save additional cost by sharing computing resources with other cloud users. A common use case scenario is deploying a web application or a blog site on hardware and resources that are owned by a cloud provider. Private cloud. In private cloud, you create a cloud environment in your own data center and provide self-service access to compute resources to users in your organization. This offers a simulation of a public cloud to your users, but you remain completely responsible for the purchase and maintenance of the hardware and software services you provide. Hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud combines public and private clouds, allowing you to run your applications in the most appropriate location. For example, you could host a website in the public cloud and link it to a highly secure database hosted in your private cloud or on on-premises data center. This is helpful when you have some things that cannot be put in the cloud, maybe for legal reasons. For example, you may have some specific pieces of data that cannot be exposed publicly, such as medical data, which needs to be held in your private data center. What is Azure? Azure is Microsoft's cloud computing platform. Azure is continually expanding set of cloud services that help your organization meet your current and future business challenges. Azure gives you the freedom to build, manage, and deploy applications on a massive global network using your favorite tools and frameworks. What can I do on Azure? Azure provides over 100 services that enable you to do everything from running your existing applications on virtual machines to exploring new software paradigms such as intelligent bots and mixed reality. For example, Azure provides AI and machine learning services that can naturally communicate with your users through vision, hearing, and speech. It also provides storage solutions that dynamically grow to accommodate massive amount of data. Azure Services enable solutions that are not feasible without the power of the cloud. Core Azure Services. Azure Compute. As the name suggests, Azure Compute options give you the ability to do heavy tasks which require hardware and equipment. App Service. Quickly create powerful cloud apps for web and mobile. Cosmos DB. Globally distributed multimodal database for any scale. Azure Functions. Process events with serverless code. Azure Kubernetes Service. Simplify the deployment, management, and operations of Kubernetes. Azure SQL. Modern SQL family for migration and app modernization. Azure Cognitive Services add smart API capabilities to enable contextual interactions. Virtual machines. Linux virtual machine. Provision virtual machines for Ubuntu, Red Hat, and more. Windows virtual machine. Provision Windows machines in seconds. Windows Virtual Desktop. The best virtual experience delivered on Azure. Core Azure Services continue. The Azure Portal. The Azure Portal is the primary way where you manage and create all your resources. Want to create a new database, a virtual machine, or increase its power, or monitor your cost? Azure Portal is where you can do all of this. Azure Administrative Tools. Azure provides these main administrative tools to interact with it. You can perform any task with this. The tools are Azure CLI, Azure PowerShell, and Azure Portal. Azure Portal for interacting with Azure via graphical user interface. Azure PowerShell and Azure Command Line interface for command line and automation based interactions with Azure. Azure Cloud Shell for a web based command line interface. Azure Mobile App for monitoring and managing your resources from a mobile device. Azure Storage. Managing, handling, storing, or using data is among the most basic and important tasks. Also, a major cloud service offered by cloud service providers. Azure Storage can handle any data related task. It has options for every scenario and requirement. Azure Networking. Azure Networking gives you an option of creating a fast and secure network for any network related task. You can isolate a network or compute resources, improve resiliency of your services with load balancers and other important tasks. Let us have a quick tour of Azure Portal. The demonstrated account is a paid one with all the services available. But you can create your Azure free account and get started with 12 months of free services. What do you get in your free account? With your Azure free account, you get all of this and you won't be charged until you choose to upgrade. 12 months of popular free services plus $200 credit to explore Azure for 30 days plus always free 25 plus services. How Azure works. Azure uses a technology known as virtualization. Virtualization separates the tight coupling between the computer's hardware and its operating system using an abstraction layer called hypervisor. The hypervisor emulates all the functions of a real computer and its CPU and virtual machines. It can run multiple virtual machines at the same time. These virtual machines can run any operating system such as Windows or Linux. So Azure takes this virtualization technique and repeats it on a massive scale in Microsoft data centers throughout the world. Each data center has many racks filled with racks. Each server includes a hypervisor run multiple virtual machines. A network switch provides connectivity to all of these servers. One server in each rack runs a piece of software called Fabric Controller. Each Fabric Controller connects to another piece of software called Orchestrator. So the Orchestrator is responsible for managing everything that's happening inside Azure, including responding to user requests. User makes requests using APIs. The web API can be called by many tools including the user interface of the Azure portal. When the user makes a request to create a virtual machine, the orchestrator packages everything it needed, takes the best server rack and sends to the Fabric controller. Azure Security Security Center unify security management and enable advanced threat protection for workloads in the cloud and on-premises. Key Vault safeguard cryptographic keys and other secrets used by cloud apps and services. Azure DDoS protection protect your Azure resources from denial of service threats. Azure information protection control and help secure email, documents and sensitive data that you share outside your company. Application gateway Protect your applications from common web vulnerabilities and exploits with built-in web application firewall. Benefits of Azure Cloud. It's cost effective. Cloud computing provides a pay-as-you-go or consumption-based pricing model. This also allows for better cost prediction. It's scalable. You can increase or decrease the resources and services used based on the demand or workload at any given time. Cloud computing support both vertical and horizontal scaling depending on your needs. Vertical scaling, also known as scaling up, is the process of adding resources to increase the power of an existing server. Horizontal scaling is also known as scaling out, is the process of adding more servers that function together as one unit. It's elastic. As your workload changes to a spike or drop in demand, a cloud computing system can compensate by automatically adding or removing resources. It's current. When you use cloud, you are able to focus on what matters: building and deploying applications. Cloud usage eliminates the burdens of maintaining software patches, hardware setup, upgrades, and other IT management tasks. It's reliable. When you're running a business, you want to be confident that your data is always going to be there. Cloud computing provides offer data backup, disaster recovery, and data replication services to make you sure that your data is always safe. In addition, redundancy is often built into cloud services architecture, so if one component fails, a backup component takes its place. This is referred to as fault tolerance. It's global. Cloud providers have fully redundant data centers located in various regions all over the globe. This gives you a local presence close to your customers to give them the best response time possible no matter where in the world they are. It's secure. Think about how secure your data center. You have physical security, who can access the building, who can operate the server racks, and so on. You also have digital security, who can connect to your systems and data over the network. Let us talk about digital security. You want only authorized users to be able to log in into virtual machines or storage systems running in the cloud. Cloud provides offer tools that help you mitigate security threats, and you must use these tools to protect the resources you use. Let us see a general overview of what you can do in Microsoft Azure. Azure is a little word for some pretty complex and vast capabilities. So, to keep things simple, let us break them down into 8 main categories: compute services, cloud storage, networking, app hosting, AI, IoT, integration, and security. Ready? Let's go. Number 1, compute services. These cover virtual machines, containers, and serverless computing, including microservices. These services are primarily for performing calculations, executing logic, and running applications. Number 2, cloud storage. This includes disk attached to virtual machines as well as more structured formats such as vault shares or databases, all of which can expand and shrink as required. Number 3, networking features. These features let you set up private network connections to your on-premises environments and configure and control traffic into and out of Azure efficiently, also helping to optimize application performance and scalability. Number 4, Azure App Host. This feature lets you run your entire web application on a managed platform in Windows or Linux. Plus, the Azure Marketplace has a huge range of third-party products you can run in Azure, including SAP and SQL database solutions. Number 5, AI, including machine learning and pre-built cognitive services. These services help you search and analyze existing data to forecast future behaviors, outcomes, and trends. Number 6, IoT. Azure enables you to integrate sensors and devices and manage them with IoT hubs, allowing you to create full-featured dashboards and apps to monitor and control all of your assets. Number 7, integration. Logic apps and service bus connect applications and services and allow for workflows to orchestrate business processes, whether those connected systems are on premises or in the cloud. Number 8, and finally, security. Security is integrated into every aspect of Azure, including a harden of the structure and global security intelligent monitoring. With Azure's identity management, you have tight control over who has access to each service and the data within it. That's a long list, and these 8 categories represent just a small fraction of the service available in Azure. Fortunately, it's quick and easy to try out a new service, then mix and match them to get exactly what you need. And the best part, you will only pay for what you use. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.